Tell us how you're feeling. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling right now?
Feeling good. Feeling real good. Weight's good. Water's good. Food's good.
He seems not overly confident, but he's already in interviews. He's talked about after he wins 125, he wants to go up to 35 to 45. Do you kind of find that as somewhat disrespectful that it's almost like assumed that he's going to win the belt on Saturday?
No, not at all. Like I told somebody asked me the same question. I was like, it doesn't hurt to dream big. It doesn't hurt at all.
So I saw a video that you love to clean dishes in the morning. Do you have any other crazy OCDs?
Yeah, so I picked up a new show that I love to watch. It's called Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know why, but I love watching it.
So you're big into gaming. Has anyone ever have you ever played Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Has anyone ever told you your trainer looks like Don Flamenco?
No, that is a first.
What's your gamer tag?
Mighty Mouse UFC.
Okay. What's your favorite game to play?
Right now, I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
You believe or you know you're going to win this?
People always ask, do you think you're going to win this fight? And I was like, no, I flew all the way to Chicago just to go in there and, of course, I'm very confident in my training, and I'm going to go out there and just fight Saturday night.
How will the travel affect your fight?
Not at all. Lately I've been spending a lot of time over in the East Coast. I fought in Toronto, fought in Florida, now Chicago, so it's almost, playing into my favor because I've been over here for so long. I'm getting kind of used to it.
He has a lot of, unorthodox striking, a lot of jump kicks, tries to use a lot of explosiveness and stuff. How are you going to combat that on Saturday?
I believe, with great technique and fundamentals, sound fundamentals, that's how you negate that because you don't walk into stuff like that. It's just like, I felt with Dom Cruz, he was very unorthodox and all that stuff, and I felt on the feet I was able to handle myself when I was switching the striking department, then I ran into a little, speed bump with Dom with his wrestling and, his size.
We hear all the time about how the flyweights are the fastest and how fast you and Dodson are. Do you think sometimes people take that too much and overlook the overall MMA game that you have?
No, not at all. I mean, that's just a part that they're really starting to see, as they get more educated in the sport. They'll see, wow, he's using that speed to set this up. He's using that speed to transition on the ground. So it's just going to take time. But that's one thing that everybody can see, when a fast car goes by, like, whoa, that car was fast. But let me see what's under the hood. Oh, man, this guy's got headers, intake, this is what's making it fast. It will translate over to mixed martial arts eventually.
Do you feel like you can take him into deeper waters that he's never seen before? He mentioned that the caliber of competition he's fought, he believes is on par with yours.
What do you guys think about that?
I think you have a great commentary voice.
We talked to him earlier, and he said that he thinks that the level of competition that he's fought, he felt that he beat the #1 guy in the world, and that, you're obviously the champion and stuff, but prior to that, he was the #1 guy in the world, and that they're on par, despite he feels resumes kind of add up. How do you respond to something like that?
Well, I'm not going to say that my resume is better than his, but, everybody can go back there. I have Joseph underneath my belt. I have Ian McCollum underneath my belt, and I've gone deep waters with those guys. I mean, these guys are no slouches. I mean, Ian McCall handled Formiga, and so, when you look at stats like that, you can't really put that together.
Do you almost feel like he's kind of like, swimming in deep waters? That's exactly where you want to take him, the 4th and 5th round, and where areas he's never seen before.
I'll take him wherever he wants to go. I mean, if it goes that far, I'm well prepared to fight in the 4th and 5th round. I've showed that before in all my fights. I go 5 rounds. So we'll see where the fight goes. If it gets done in the 1st round, if I get him out in the 1st round, I'd love to have that too.
DJ, what needs to happen on Saturday night for the flyweight division to get more respect, to get more recognition?
We just got to go out there and put on a good show, and that's all we got to do.
A lot of the buzz has been how Fox hasn't necessarily come out and said the flyweight title fight. I mean, do you notice things like that? I mean, some of it I think is maybe a little silly, but they haven't been specific about what your division is.
No, not at all. I think you guys should ask Dana that question, because Dana's the one who has the pull and saying, like, if you would have saw it, Dana would be like, all right, okay, we need to go back and fix that. Listen, no, this is a flyweight title. For me, it doesn't change. I'm grateful that, they gave us that time slot and they advertised the fight just in general. They could have just not even advertised it at all and be like, you guys fight January 26th, be there, show up, nobody get hurt, have a good camp.
Seeing your stuff on NFL football, on the playoff games, the NFC title game, things along those lines, I mean, that has to make you special, and I'm sure it reinvigorates you, correct?
No, man, I'm like I said, I'm grateful. I'm very happy that they gave me that time slot. I'm very happy to be here, to be headlining the UFC card. At the same time, I'm just a guy who's trying to do well in his career and just going to put on a good show.
How's your life changed since getting the belt?
Life's stay the same for me. You know, I'm not a very arrogant guy. I get noticed a lot more, you know, when I'm out and about, you know, picking up, you know, laundry or something. Other than that, I still train hard, and like I tell people, like, regardless of whatever happens between this fight, whether I win or lose, I'm going to go home, get ready for the next fight, and approach the next fight, whether it's a title fight or not a title fight.
Right. So I see a lot of videos with your wife being very supportive into your fighting, into your regimen. How important is she into your life and your training and your work?
Well, she's my wife, so she's very important. And as for, you know, me training, she supports me 110%, and she understands the dedication I need to put into this sport to be where I'm at. And, you know, she's been with me since my second amateur fight, and she's seen me when I got into fighting just gassed. And I was like, that's never happened again. She goes, you know what, you're right. And so ever since then, it's been lovely.
What's been the biggest sacrifice going to this level in your life? So what's been the biggest sacrifice you've faced coming into fighting in the UFC and now fighting on Fox?
I'll just say not, you know, fighting organizations sacrifice, but just me amping up a notch. You know, when you're fighting guys like, you know, Joseph E. McCall, you know, the best in the world, you know, you have to dedicate a lot more time to training and not just, okay, we're going to slowly focus on beating this guy. It's more about development as a mixed martial artist because, you know, I'm going to fight this person once on this night, but I got to get ready for the next guy down the road. And if I complete myself as a mixed martial artist, then I'm one step ahead of the game.
So what have you sacrificed?
Time with my friends, time to go do stuff. You know, my father-in-law just offered me to go kill 2 bears in Canada, but you know, I just can't. Like, yeah, absolutely. Scratch me for May 13th, you know, because I might be training for a fight or I might get scheduled a fight. So there's a lot of things, you know, I sacrifice.
On that note, how many fights do you want to have in 2013?
I like to have 3. I want to stay busy. I'm still young. I'm only 26 years old. I expect to be active, and it's a career, and at the same time, it's a business, and this is how I make my living. So I want to be active. And whether they have enough flyweights, better get enough flyweights.
Now, just on that note, if you do clean out the flyweight division, if you dominate it, is there any thought of going up to 135?
You know, I'm on my side on that right now. I mean, obviously, you know, I can't say yes or no. You know, I don't know what the future holds. I'm just focused on, you know, defending my belt on Saturday night and see what the world just brings to me.
How much of a platform with you guys having that center stage is going to impact, and other flyweights are really going to go ahead and amp up their game a little bit to try to get into the mix, knowing that the UFC puts you guys on the main event of a network show?
Hopefully it amps it up, you know, pretty good. I mean, I hope that they don't need that motivation to do that. But I think that's just going to show, you know, the other flyweights in the division all around the world, like, hey, wow, the UFC is actually, you know, letting flyweights headline a UFC card, and maybe that'll give them some motivation to start training a lot harder. It's kind of funky to say that because it's like, I'm going to start training harder. They're the headline. Sweet.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thanks, guys. Thanks, TJ.
Demetrious.